has indeed. Factor in reaction time and elapsed time. True margin of victory, 2/100ths of a second. Now our second pair. In 63 Corvette bodywork, Rickie Smith, the 5-time Pro Stock champion, making a name for himself in Pro Mod, though he has yet to win a national event, going up against Todd Tutterow, King, North Carolina, against Louisville, North Carolina.
We talk about experience. Rickie Smith, the winningest driver in Bristol history with 8 national event victories. He's been here before. Let's see if that experience pays off. Tutterow first off the line, but barely. Almost identical reaction time. Tricky Rickie, 6:53, 214 miles per hour. Rickie's in a final one more time.
Well, in the Pro Stock days, we were used to seeing Rickie Smith murder his opponents on the tree. Tutterow got away 4/1000ths of a second quicker.
Easily known as one of the greatest single success stories in IHRA. I mean, let's face it, the king of Pro Stock, more final rounds than anybody else in the door slammer category. Now you're going to do it in yet another class. People don't realize Pro Stock for you was not your first world championship. I mean, you were a king in sportsman racing, too. Now you're going to do it again.
Well, it'd be nice to do it in 3 different categories, Brett. You know, we're trying hard, and just thankful for people like Larry Tutterow, Carolina Drilling, Pete Williams, and Don Gray. Man, I'm just happy to be in the finals. I mean, we've worked hard to get here. You know, it's just great. I can't explain it.
Let me add to your joy. Lane choice.
That's just great. That's just great. Thank you, man. Woo!
Well, you heard Brett tell Rickie, lane choice in the final round. A matchup of champions from 2 different classes. Will Tricky Rickie have something for Tommy Mooney? We'll find out a little later in the show. After a break, we'll be back. Pro Stocks from Thunder Valley. Welcome back to Bristol International Dragway, undergoing a multi-million-dollar facelift. Not only here on the strip, but across the way at Bristol Motor Speedway. Here's Brett Kepner.
Haven't we been here before? An expensive day for Doug Herbert and the Snap-on Tools team as motor number 2 enters the frame rails, and this is just, of course, for eliminations. However, the 5:02 in the semifinal round indicates that they definitely have not lost their 300-mile-per-hour combination from qualifying. They can get by one more round, they've got it made, but Bruce Litton will be there to try and stop them.
Right now, it's a battle of the pit crews. Incidentally, I mentioned Bristol Motor Speedway back in 1965, a winner here at the Spring Nationals in the B-Altered category, King Richard Petty, in a Plymouth Barracuda with a big Hemi under the hood. We are in the Pro Stock semifinals. Angelo Alesi from Cleveland, Ohio will meet Doug Kirk, former IHRA world champion from Lenore, West Virginia.
And as we pointed out earlier, Doug Kirk in a strange car, the C-Ray sponsored car of Carlton Phillips, who is not here this weekend, taking care of his marina back up in Virginia. Good hole shot for Doug Kirk, a 4:23 reaction time. He's making a race out of it unless he drives around him. 6:79.202. Kirk could not come up with the number.
And that wastes a 4:23 reaction time by Kirk, the best thus far. In Bruce Litton's pits, the crew continues to slave over that all-new drive line as the clock continues to tick away. Meanwhile, in Doug Herbert's pit, like most drivers, likes to mix his own nitromethane.
Angelo Alesi proved he was more than capable when he took his first national event win in his rookie year. Now, how about 4/1000ths of a second off low ET? 6:79.7. That is impressive.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't realize it was such a good run. I couldn't hear on the radio what had happened. And I got to thank my crew and Sonny Leonard for building the power that he's built me. And Dale, my crew chief, is just excellent. I mean, he's just doing a great job. And, you know, the times are telling the tale.
Well, let's see if Billy Huff has somebody really right alongside him.
I understand that. He's tough.
Angelo's talking about crew chief Dale Kindle. He does have a crack organization. Second half of the draw now. Billy Huff from Shepherdsville, Kentucky has his Pontiac Firebird in the lanes to meet Jerry Yeoman from Galena, Kansas in a 96 Olds Cutlass.
This will be a war. Yeoman runs very well with that 813 Oldsmobile, but Billy Huff came in here, laid down the #1 qualifying spot with the Vince Shane car. Anybody's drag race. First off the line is Yeoman, but barely, nearly identical reaction times. Side by side, wheel to wheel, it's going to be Billy Huff. 680.203 to a losing 682. 9/1000ths of a second difference in this drag race. Let's go for a ride, Bob.
You couldn't have written this if you hired Hollywood scriptwriters.
Oh, heck. Well, I hope everything's all right. I heard it pop when I pulled it into high gear down there. I don't know what it was. I ain't got but one bullet this weekend, so I got to take care of what I got.
Wouldn't be a Billy Huff race if you didn't have to work.
Hey, I wouldn't know how to act, would I?
Bad news is they caught up to you already. 679 for Angelo Alessi. You went an 80.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I've lost lane choice. To be honest with you, I ran out of the left lane earlier this weekend in qualifying. I can't see the ambers out of the left lane. IHRA might have moved the tree if they did. I'm going in there not knowing if I can see the Christmas tree or not.
What day could you not see the tree?
Friday.
They moved it on Saturday.
We'll see.
Nice pun. That big hood scoop in the way, the driver on the left, the lights on the right. It can be hard to see. Alessi will have lane choice against Huff in the finals. Now, meanwhile, getting close, says Bruce Litton as the clock continues to tick away. The crew appears to be just about ready, but over in the staging lanes, his opponent in the Top Fuel finals, the world champ Doug Herbert, is there. And now he must wait to see if Litton will make it. We'll be back. Back at Thunder Valley, there's a piece of drag racing history, the first multi-level timing tower, completely renovated as the improvements continue here at Bristol International Dragway. It is happy hour. The finalists are headed for the staging lanes. There's Jimmy Rector. Earlier, we listened as Doug Herbert and Rickie Smith plotted setup strategy with the use of their onboard computers.
As the engine goes across, as the clutch is applied, the engine pulls down a little bit, and then right here, the tires start to get loose, and the engine revs up. So on that last run, racing Shirley Muldowney, I had to get off the gas and back on the gas. You can see the engine RPM drop off and back on, and the drive shaft speed going up here is coming away, and then all of a sudden it drops down and hooks back up and goes down the track. When the engine gets down here, finally the clutch locks up, and from there the engine just keeps revving up, and off we went, 298 miles an hour.
Okay, here's a run we made a while ago. This up here is your clutch RPM graph. This is RPM of the engine right here going up and down. This line right here should be pretty well straight up. See how it blew the tires off right here, and then it shook real bad right up here at the top of the gear. That's when it kind of got out of shape on me. This clutch graph right here, you look at this yellow line, you see that other graph come up there? What should happen is this RPM shouldn't come down quite that far. And then this clutch graph, the yellow line, it should come in and meet the motor about right here. It's catching the motor way down here, and I got way too much clutch in the car. But I'm getting by. I'm going to take a little out for the finals and let it go.
Simple as that, huh? Let's begin happy hour with the baddest machines around. This is Doug Herbert with 5,000 horsepower plus under his right foot. But the problem is, he will not have an opponent here in the championship round. Bruce Litton's team cannot answer the bell.
It'll be a single for Doug Herbert as the trailer king from Indianapolis just flat couldn't make it. But you know what? Another runner-up finish. He's relatively, maybe almost a rookie in Top Fuel drag racing. He'll take that. Let's see what Herbert does. Does he put on a show for the fans?
Well, he shuts it off to save parts. Back in 1965 at the first Spring Nationals, Maynard Ruff beat Connie Kalita at 7:59. Doug cruises through at 7:73 with a 9.
Now, earlier, Bruce Litton came up to Kurt Smith, the IHRA Pro Staging Director, and told him it would be at least 15 minutes. At that point in time, he gracefully bowed out and said, go ahead, single Herbert, we can't make it. He'll be back, though.
Somebody was smiling on you today.
Somebody was really smiling. I don't know what it is about this place. I love Bristol. I wish they just had every race here or something. I don't know. We have really good luck here. I'll tell you what, all my crew guys, Brissett and Mark and Walt and Fuzzy Carter, we had one heck of a crew. We were changing motors after every run. We were throwing the throwing the clutch out of the thing. All I can say is, Brissett. All I can say is Snap-on Tools and Wacom and Doug Herbert Bourne's parts and IHRA. Thanks.
You're back.
Thanks.
Back and gunning for his 5th World Championship. On to the Alcohol Funny Car final. Spinning those slicks to lay down a layer of rubber and gain maximum traction off the line. Jimmy Rector giving it everything, hoping to pick up a victory here at the Spring Nationals. There's his opponent, Scott Weiss. hoping to become the first driver to repeat as Alcohol Funny Car champion at the Spring Nationals.
Both of them with new cars. Rector driving a 97 Dodge Avenger. Scott Wise decides to go the Fomoco route. 97 Ford Mustang.
Can Rector keep the string of first-time winners alive? Not off the line, he doesn't. It looks like Wise's race.
Wise, a 6-flat, 230 miles per hour. Rector slowed to only 185 miles per hour. We better take another look at that to see if we can determine what happened. Both of them off the line. Actually, Rector left first with a 4:77 reaction time. Then suddenly, Scott Wise begins pulling away at the 8th mile mark. As they approach the quarter-mile mark, it looks like there it is, a broken blower belt.
He left right with you, but I don't think, even if he hadn't had problems, he would have stopped a 6 flat.
Isn't that awesome? I got to thank God first for making this day so possible. It's extra special for Sherwin-Williams to be involved this year. It's their first win, first national event win. What can I say? The car is a hot rod.
If they held every race here, he'd be 20-time world champ.
We could win it all. We really could. Thank you, Brett.
I do want to say one thing. The chassis company that built this thing, this is one of their only funny cars out there, and they're a big sportsman chassis company, and they're always asking about how Scott Wise did. They're going to be elated.
They're very meticulous. They build the fastest chassis out here. Obviously, we own the track record here. I've got to thank Ashland Ford and Benford Leak and Commercial Machine with Bobby Jones. They're all special. They've been with me the whole time. With Sherwin-Williams, here we are.
Here comes the family. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so the jinx is over. Scott Wise becomes the first repeat winner in Spring Nationals Alki Funny Car history. On to the Pro Modified final. Rickie Smith looking for his first after 30 victories in Pro Stock competition on the IHRA trail. Keep in mind, he said he was going to take some clutch out of the car. We'll see if it works. There's the man he's up against. The distinctive colors of Tommy Mooney from Shelby, North Carolina, returning to the series after winning the World Championship in 1995. Almost identical cars in displacement and bodywork.
Don't forget, Tommy Mooney also won a Pro Stock World Championship a number of years prior to winning that Pro Mod Championship. Both guys very experienced. Off the starting line, it's going to be Rickie Smith with a 4:31 reaction time. Tricky Rickie pulls it out. He's back in the winner's circle, and he sets a new track record doing it. 6:49, 215 miles per hour. Let's pick him up at the 8th mile mark right now, and that's where Rickie begins to make all the horsepower. Did he set up the clutch right? Apparently so. Here's Brett.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tricky Rickie is back. Now, I'm interested to know, did the radio work?
Yeah, but he was about to cry so bad, I don't believe he could tell me what I run to.
Him cry.
I should cry, too.
This will break you up, buddy. 6:49 at 215 miles an hour. Numbers we only barely saw at Darlington, that on the mountain.
Brett, I knew if it ever got down a racetrack, it'd run. I kept taking clutch out of it all day, and gosh, I just don't know what to say. I mean, I'm just so proud of, Larry Tatterow helping me and staying with me for years. Carolina Drilling, Don Gray, Pete Williams. Hey, it takes a lot to do this. I know y'all know that, but you just don't know how much I appreciate these guys helping me.
How many more
I'm
classes?
just so glad that IHRA is getting this thing back on. They've had good crowds. Man, I'm tickled to death to be back over here, buddy.
Track record. Speed and ET, low ET of the meet, top speed of the meet, the win, and the third different eliminator category, you have won.
Just supposed to be a washed-up driver. I'm doing pretty good.
And that is a first in IHRA history, a winner in 3 eliminator categories. Now to our Pro Stock final. There is Billy the Kid back after a year away from the sport. He has been bulletproof all day long, getting quicker and quicker reaction times as he made his way to the finals. Ride to Shepherdsville, Kentucky, up against Angelo Alesi from Cleveland, Ohio. A 96 Chevy Monte Carlo, 813 mountain motor cubic inches. This should be another great race.
Huff and Alesi have been matching each other all day long. Huff ran a 681. Alesi came out with a 683, then a 680 opposed to a 679. Here they go in the finals. Nearly identical reaction times. Side by side, Alesi pulls it out with a big top-end charge. He runs 202 miles per hour. His second national event victory in his very short career with IHRA. Let's take a ride one more time with Billy Huff. Watch Billy, pull the gears at the lower left-hand corner of your screen. And you can see Alessi pull ahead in the last 100 feet. Now from outside the car, this is what it looked like. You'll see the front end rising first on Alessi's car. Billy Huff a little out of shape, has to correct at about the 300-foot mark. Now they go straight. Watch at the very end of the race. He noses him out by half a car.
Very few people know the tremendous adversity this guy has faced in the last couple of weeks, and I know you haven't brought it up yet, but I know that you also believe that somebody was riding with you today.
Yeah, we had a tragedy a while ago, and as you can see by the hood scoop, I know Bill was riding with me, and I'd like to dedicate this race to him. I'd also like to thank Sonny Leonard, my team, because they're the best, and Prolong and Snap-on for everything that they're trying to do for us. And I know that everything's going to work out well, and we're going to be real happy with what they're going to do.
I know your first win, you were elated. This one, I know, has probably 10 times more meaning. Congratulations to you, buddy.
Thank you very much. Yes, it does. Thank you. This one's for you, Bill.
And the Bill that Angelo Alesi refers to is Bill Oriole, who passed away not long ago, but whose memory is very much with his championship team. After 2 rounds, let's look at the points, Ted.
Well, Paul Romine, believe it or not, is on top by 10 points with that blow over here. Shirley Muldowney in second place. Now look, Doug Herbert won, and he's only in third place. Remember, although they only have 2 events in, there are qualifying points, and that's what's going on with Rickie Stevens and Angelo Alesi right now. About 100 points difference with them. Ed Mahachek in third place in Pro Stock. And in Pro Modified, Todd Tutterow with a narrow 40-point lead. It's going to be a battle. Look at Scotty Cannon coming in behind Rickie Smith, who's going to be a major contender in an alcohol funny car. Scott Weiss has the most comfortable lead of any of the professionals on the Snap-on Tools circuit this year.
Our next stop on the IHRA Snap-on Tools National Event Trail will be Crane Cams, presenting the 6th Annual President's Cup Nitrous Nationals from Budds Creek, Maryland. Check your local listings for coverage here on ESPN2. I'm Bob Barsha for Ted Jones and Brett Kepner. Congratulations to all of our winners. So long from Thunder Valley in Bristol, Tennessee.